empowered. Be strong. Take charge. Speak life. Live life abundantly. Get with it now. You are now entering the chat room. Health Chat with Coach Jean, that is, where we debate, debunk, educate, empower, impart, and raise awareness on all things related to health, healing, and holistic well-being, body, mind, and spirit. Let's go.
Welcome. Welcome. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Chat Room, Health Chat with Coach Jean, that is. And you know what time it is, and you know who I am. If you've been listening to Health Chat with Coach Jean for any length of time, I am your hostess with the mostest. Health awareness and information related to all things health, healing, and holistic well-being, body, mind, soul, and spirit. Yes, it's me, your girl, Nurse Coach Jean Turner. Thank you so much for tuning in from wherever you are in the world today. So, how's your week been going? I hope this episode of Health Chat with Coach Jean finds you healthy, healed, and whole, living at the highest quality of life that you are capable of living at your current wellness level. But guess what? There's always room for improvement in each and every one of us. So thank you again for tuning in to this week's episode. And so this morning, during my devotion time, I was led to John, the first chapter, the first verse, and then Genesis, the first chapter, verses 1 through 3. The Word, which is the Logos, is Christ himself. And in the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth, there was darkness all around. But all God did was speak. God spoke, and it was so. He said, let there be light, and guess what? There was light. God spoke it, and it was so. So my word to you, wherever you are tuning in, speak the word. Speak those things that be not as though they were. Speak the word as you wait for the physical manifestation for whatever it is you are believing in. So look, Coach Jean wants to do business with you. Advertise your event, your new music, your service, your organic products here on Health Chat with Coach Jean. You know, you can advertise your church at any upcoming church events, women ministry groups, men's groups, right here on Health Chat with Coach Jean. So hit me up at healthchatwithcoachjean@gmail.com for more information. And if you're not already doing so, follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Health Chat with Coach Jean, Twitter at @chat_coach. I'm on LinkedIn at Nurse Coach Jean and Clubhouse at Nurse Coach 63. And so let's pray real quick because I got my special guest waiting in the queue. Most gracious Father, we thank you for another opportunity to be able to come before the people around the world for another week, another episode of Health Chat with Coach Jean. I ask and pray that something shared during this week's episode will bless and just comfort and encourage every listener, both here in the United States and around the world, and that your peace, your love, your joy, your happiness, your healing, your deliverance, your salvation be theirs. In your Son's precious name I do pray. Amen, amen, and amen. So this week's episode, we are going on a walk. We're going on a Warrior's Walk to Wellness. And my guest in the chat room this week is joining us all the way from Sydney, Australia. Yes. Oh, my God, that's on my bucket list. Yes, she is the owner and founder of Love Life Inside and Out, and she's here with us this week on a Warrior's Walk to Wellness. So, Eggie, I hear you in the background, my beautiful friend. Are you here in the virtual building?
Yes, I am here. I made it all the way from Australia. I'm in I overcame the technology, so I'm really proud of myself that I made it. And it's an honor, it's an absolutely honor to be here today with you, Jean, and to run the show and inspire others. And, you know, Jean, I really believe that transformation is teachable and that wellness is actually a skill. It's not just given to us. It's a skill we need to master, because in the world of cancer, there is no apology. Cancer is very unapologetic. So the best thing we can do is to equip ourselves with the right mindset, with the right feelings, with the right energy, set our physical body into place where we can create an environment from the inside and out for healing. And that's what I'm passionate about.
I see it. I really, really, really just love the passion that you have. And so I want us to talk about that. Is there anything, Eggy, you want to share further with the audience about you and what you know about you?
Yes, thank you. So I am a cancer thriver. I was first diagnosed in 2019. And since this is a spiritual channel, I can share openly what the spiritual journey has been since 2019. But I was diagnosed on my daughter's second birthday in 2019. And I had some, natural therapies overseas. And I did a lot of inside-out work, and I really acknowledged the fact how important it is to let go of what's not serving us. And I knew from the moment I received my diagnosis of breast cancer stage 2 that this was due to the anger I was carrying for years, since I can think. So I come from a background, I have Turkish African parents. I grew up in Germany, Berlin. It sounds really, really nice and exotic, but in real life, it was very hard. I had Nazis running after me, and I had a lot of violence around me, and I was always the odd one. So I learned from a very young age to not deal with my anger, but to grow my anger and to be in defense mode all the time and have this attitude of cautiousness, and I was not relaxed at all. So now I know I was actually in fight and flight mode for all my life until I received my diagnosis. So since then I took a life on where I'm not just empowering myself to believe in healing and to unlock natural healing powers we all have within ourselves, but also inspire through my journey others to do exactly the same for themselves. Because I do believe that healing is possible for anybody as long as there is a strong desire and faith and the energy around you put from the inside out. So my journey led me to, in the past year, being really involved with clients and students. I've created a course where you can actually learn how to thrive despite a cancer diagnosis, and I really dwelled in. But my personal life wasn't reflecting what I was teaching. So that's where the problem began. The challenge, let's call it a challenge. And I found myself being in this still very unhappy marriage where I just asked myself, what am I doing here? And what are my values? Am I getting what I need out of this environment I'm in, called home? And I had these, I work very visual, so I always saw myself as, okay, what's my actual state of being? And where is my desired state of being? What is it? Because where I'm right now, I'm not feeling it. I'm not happy. Something needs to change. Where am I? Where do I want to go? And then find pathways to move me from A to B, as simple as that. And I found myself being in a position where I was angry, I was depressed, I was bargaining and constantly negotiating to still kind of get, something worthwhile out of this relationship. And I was focusing on flaws, and I was so far away from light. So I was in this dark bubble, completely chained. I had a child, with my former partner, husband. So there was a lot of ties, and my heart was just not in there. And knowing that I had this history of breast cancer in the past, I knew that I had to make massive changes. So
right.
I was challenging things, and I moved out, and I found myself being without a home, and that security and the safety and the welcoming and the feeling of bonds and togetherness was just not there, and I do 100% know that has a tremendous impact on our spiritual body and our emotional body, and that feeling of protection being away is actually the foundation. And I was picturing myself how I will receive another diagnosis, because I was living the life of somebody highly stressed, highly in fight and flight and anxiety and fear and fighting and turbulences. So my body has manifested this disease for the second time. So that's where I'm finding myself now.
Wow. Eggy.
Yeah. Yes.
So, you said something really key. You made a couple of very great key points. You had to let go of what was not necessary. You was going through some things. You had this wall built up around you, an attitude of cautiousness, times when you were not relaxed at all. And it's amazing how our mind and our emotions play a role in illness, and especially in something like a cancer diagnosis. And you talked about, what was going on in your personal life. And do you believe all of that played a role now into this reoccurrence?
100%, Jane. 100%. Because when you are in an environment full of blame and anger and denial and wondering why this is happening to you, coming from a victim consciousness, then the body, I see the body like we have actually a remote control in our hands with different buttons. As you're watching TV and you're flipping the channels, you are actually in charge of this remote, how your body will serve you. The body is here to serve us. Okay, we are above the body, and we need to find the instruction how to drive our body in the most beautiful, expanding, light-generating, love-generating instrument of life. That's why we have this body. So we get confused from the noises around us, the doctors, the husbands, the wives, the children, global epidemics, financial matters. All that confuses us, and all of a sudden we're pressing all these different buttons in one. So our body gets confused, we create chaos, and when we do that, and our external world is projecting exactly that chaos, where we find us without stability, and we don't have confidence, we don't have clarity, we are clouded, then the body has no other choice. You're actually just demanding your body to go with what your mind is saying. And your mind is saying, oh my God, I wish this was over. I'm struggling. Why me? Oh, I knew it's going to happen again. This happened 2 years ago. Jean, my second diagnosis was exactly on my daughter's 4th birthday. On the same day, Jean. So this is so proof how powerful we are. We can use our mind as a curse or as a blessing. We can use our mind as a problem or the solution, as a delusion or as the truth, as the challenge or as a growth. And we can be the loser or the winner in our mind, and our body and our environment will just play with that tune you're playing for your own music. That button on that control remote, you have full power of that. We are not just being created by the Creator. We are actually Creator ourselves in our essence. We are a creation, a piece of creation, then showing up as a creator of our own life. So for people to know this is evolutionary. We always wait for the external world for us, for something to change so we can feel happier. Or if this is happening, then I can heal again. If that person would do that, then I'll be happy and I'll be, cheerful and I want to go partying. But we have to actually access all that we want in life from God, from the universe. We have to learn to access it from within, and only that we can see it in our external world. So I absolutely believe that I have created with my mind what my body has formed in the matter world, because I know we are not matter only. There's actually more than that. Yeah.
Wow, Eggy. And so, the work that you are doing even now during a second diagnosis reoccurrence, and I believe just recently, was it a repeat online class? But I know several months ago, you and another young lady partnered and talked about how to super boost your immune system, as part of your series, How to Thrive Despite a Cancer Diagnosis. Can you talk a little bit about that, from breakdown to breakthrough, and how to super boost your immune system?
Yeah, I love that. That's one of my favorite subjects. Thank you, Jean. So when we talk about the immune system, we simply think it's something we need to give our body and then we'll be fine, right? Like that's what the majority of people I find in this field think. Simply, when we talk about the immune system, it's just a physical matter. Now, I want us all to take a step back and exchange the word immune system with all of your essence. It's all of you. So we have to then decide, okay, what is you? Is it just your physical body? No. Is it the feelings you're expressing and radiating? No. Is it the thoughts you have day in and day out in your head? No. None of these single things is you, but there's all of that combined, plus that intuition, your inner guidance, that's you. So once we understand and we come to the same, common denominator, what you is, then we can look at what you can do for the immune system super boost, as in the whole essence of you. So we have to address it on a physical body, so supplements. There's supplements to boost your immune system. Then there are juices and smoothies and herbs and spices. So when we talk about the immune system, it's not just the physical body, but that's really, 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 really important. And eating a diet, like an alkaline diet, so the inflammation, everyone who's going through cancer right now has inflammation. Okay, cancer is the effect of malfunction, which comes in deficiency and in toxicity. So once we address that on a physical body, then most of us think we're okay. But we're not, because there's two other parts. There's the emotional and the physical essence to you, which then can boost your immune system or can weaken your immune system. So the biggest weakener out there on an emotional level, which then has an impact, as we just spoke about, on your physical being, because we are all interconnected with these essences, is stress. Stress is the number one cause for all disalignment and disharmony and dis-ease, being out of ease. So what does stress mean? Stress means something to everyone differently, I can just say something to you and you get triggered because 20 years ago your mom said something to you and that causes you stress, which doesn't mean anything to me. So everyone has a different response to stress. We can't stop stress. Stress is always going to go around in our external world because that's what life is. Life takes courses and has changes. So adapting us as a human race is really difficult. That's why we feel stress. So what can we do to minimize the impact. It's all about the response we have to stress, the interpretation we have about this stress. Okay, once we see, and that's when awareness comes in and mindfulness comes in. That's when we address it from the spiritual part, which then has an impact on the emotional and then on the physical part. So we have to address it in a huge circle, and we can't miss out any of those because they're all interconnected and crucially important, each one of them. So mindfulness can then show you where you need to put more love, light, grace, ease, trust, and flow into that area. So it's like beaming a light onto the darkness, okay, with that awareness. So the awareness comes with when you just stop paying attention to the external world and when you really just trust your inner being to be the observer of what's going on from the inside world. And then we have the physical body, of course. There's exercise. When I say exercise, I don't mean hardcore sweating, but I mean keeping the system flowing. When we sit on the computer, we sit in front of the TV, we sit in the car, we sit at the table to eat, and we eat way too much these days. Our body doesn't actually get a chance to self-heal because we have this body as a miracle is designed to self-heal. We have everything, our body has everything to bring itself back to a state of homeostasis. So once you create an environment from the inside and outside, the people you're seeing, the energy around, the food you're putting into your mouth, the words you're saying out of your mouth, the thoughts you're thinking, which then reflect in your emotions and your behavior, that can promote your immune system, boost your immune system, or it can really weaken your immune system. And what I find on my personal journey is the emotional pathway is the most dominant, strongest pathway. From that and spiritual, everything else will flow because the body is here to serve us. We need to drive our body. And the impact of drinking juices every day and supplements every day and doing coffee enemas, that's also a physical part of boosting your immune system. All these things you can do that, but if you have the biggest stress, okay, just like my case, and that might show up differently in your life, and the response to that stress is detrimental to each one of your 50 to 70 trillion cells, then you have a problem. Yeah. So we have so much to actually do so as to the immune system, yeah.
Right. And so, you know what, Aggie, you brought up some very, very, very good points. Number one, the first thing I heard you say, when you talked about the impact of stress and how we respond to stress, what is our reaction to stress? Because we know, right, there's good stress, that stress that pushes us to be better, but we're talking about that bad stress, that chronic stress, right? And so our response to the stress, our reaction is important. And we must remove ourselves from the stressful stimulus, from what it is that's causing the stress. What is it that is kicking off or jump-starting those stress triggers, right? We got to first identify our stress triggers in order for us to be able to either remove ourselves from the immediate stressful environment or not even get ourselves in that situation. We have to be aware of the things and the people and the situations and circumstances that cause us stress, and we have to remove ourselves from that. I have to agree with you on that because when I got diagnosed in 2018, 2017, they saw a spot, and it was no bigger than a little pinpoint, Aggie, and then it stayed the same size, a little pinprick, if you will, for about 9 months. And then when I started going through a very stressful time in my life at work, that's when it started to grow. And so stress, we have got to learn to manage our stress, right? We've got to recognize it. We've got to know what our triggers are, and we got to remove ourselves from stressful stimuli. That's one thing I heard you say. And then detox. You know, our body, you know, God created our bodies that they can heal themselves if we're taking, you know, if we're putting the right things in them, if we maintain a state of homeostasis, like you said, homeostasis, right? And that more than likely there is a deficiency or there's toxicity, like at massive levels going on. So detoxing is important as well. Those are the two things I heard you say in so many words, and I'm paraphrasing, but please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
100%, absolutely. You're right on. Spot on. We need to, like, once we do this, so I say to my students, and to my clients, I say, instead of focusing how to get rid of cancer, let's just focus on being our best version, the healthiest version we can be, right? Because then not having cancer is just a bonus. It becomes a natural byproduct of the process you're doing already. Because when you are living your best life, then responding to really life-shaping events is actually not going to shake you. You are going to have this internal flame of a candle which doesn't flicker. It doesn't flicker. It doesn't matter if there is a tornado or a hurricane. And I know this is a very challenging task, you know, because it's learning. And also with the learning, it's about surrendering. Surrendering doesn't mean that you're giving up, but instead you are this fish and you're finding the current and you flow with the current. No fighting, no battling, no killing, no resisting, but really trusting that there is the Creator, that you're one of the oneness, and you being the dancer. It's about seeing the path you want to take on and really confidently stepping into your full potential. And then if you think that you can do this alone. Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Are you still there? Yes?
Yes. You still there, Eggie?
Yeah. Yes, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I can hear you.
So yeah, there's a lot of things. Wonderful. Great. There's a lot of things we can do. And I think once we understand, okay, I see cancer as a messenger, right? I see it as a blessing, because without cancer, I technically wouldn't live the best life possible. You know, I wouldn't make a decision to live or aim and strive for that. Okay, it doesn't come overnight, and we are all humans, and we will have ups and downs, but it's about how you gracefully deal with the down. Because every time you come down, there is another lesson you have to learn. You're learning. We are here as students in the school of life, and each scenario, each experience just teaches us more about ourselves and about the life we're having and how we can contribute more love, light, wisdom, understanding, trust into this life. And living in the spirit of blessings rather than blaming. You know, really forgiving yourself for, when you do get a recurrence or even the first time, you think, okay, what have I done, or why me? This is so unfair. So there's a lot of blame going around. But instead, really understanding that actually the life you were living before your diagnosis was killing you. That was a cancer life. Because the diagnosis itself is actually the sum of the choices you have made spiritually, emotionally, and physically for yourself in your life. And it's the sum of all of that which then results in health, in ease, or in dis-ease. So that's what it is.
Wow. You know what, Eggie? I just love your approach. You are focused more on, just living your life, no regrets, and just being the healthiest version of yourself that you can be. And one of the things I tell our listening audience week in and week out, be the healthiest version of yourself that you can be. Because many people, we're in the midst of a worldwide pandemic. Many people were infected with COVID. They have some lasting side effects from it. You can still be the healthiest version of you can be, even if you have some illness or something going on physically, right? And that's what it's about. It's about how can I live at what I call my maximum wellness capacity as well as I can be based on my current health situation, right? How can I be my healthiest, right, in the best state of health for whatever you as an individual has going on? But you are such a miracle. I was on your website reading your story. Even as a child, you went through a tragic accident, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And even as a child, Jean, I had this knowing, like I had an afterlife experience, so to say. Like I was safe, and I saw my physical body there, and I had no heartbeat for 6 minutes. So they actually, yes, you're right. I am like in a book as a medical miracle because the doctors, they prepared my parents for the worst outcome, and then I came back. But I do remember at a point where I was given a choice, and that's what I'm here to say to everybody, to all of you listeners out there. You always are given a choice, okay? And take your disease as a choice maker, as a choice messenger for you to decide life or death, because that's what it really is. So every single thought, every single decision, and every single thing you're doing for yourself and for others is that making you feel good? Are you in alignment? Are you truly in alignment with what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what you're doing? And really, the doctors and everyone, I've heard so many things, and everyone was just focusing on my flaws. Oh, this is not working. This is imbalanced. You have this cancer, this bad, your heart, because I had brain damage. I had to learn how to walk and talk again at age 14. But yet, I just felt like, and this is still how I feel now, and I have given birth in real life, but I always see all these scenarios, all these big slaps, like little tornadoes in my life, as giving birth. So the giving birth experience is really challenging. You want it to be over, you're sweating all your energy, and you're feeling like, oh my God, this is so hard. But once you birth that child of a blissful life, you will have peace, And it's about finding peace in that process by surrendering, just like that fish going through a current. So that's when I get really excited, and I step out of victimhood. The doctors are telling me I have the BRCA1 gene mutation, it's in my genes, I can always have this, and the doctors are actually not surprised, and they're thinking that what I was doing before didn't work, where I know the impact of that stress I had, because my body was telling me each day, So, yes, I have, this is what I have discovered. Praising is better than cursing. And healing comes from love, light, wisdom, knowledge, acceptance, patience, understanding, and grace, and ease and flow. And everything else, all this battling and killing and beating, is actually putting more turbulence, taking away the peace. And it's not a destination. That's what I've learned. It's really about the process. It's about the healing journey. It's the evolution of potential you have when you wholeheartedly, with all of your being, step into that role of expanding your potential and becoming the best version. Because when you do that, you become a light in the world, and that's what we are designed. That's what we are so, taking up energy from each other, because we feed and we starve each other through our energy. So when you light up for yourself and you become the best version for yourself, then you light up the world, and that's why we're useful, to make it to a really bright world.
Yeah, I believe that God puts in each and every one of us an innate strength, right? That inborn innate strength, to overcome some things. And I'm a Christian. I believe in God and I believe in His strength, but He places His strength in us, inside of us, to help us to overcome, because we know life is full of challenges, but it's a lot about your mindset, speaking, what you saying to yourself every day, what are you believing, but we have that innate strength that I believe God places in each and every one of us to choose. We were given the gift of choice. Would you choose life or you choose death? And like you, when I was going through my health challenge, I chose to live. Even when the therapies put me in the congestive heart failure, and then I went into cardiac arrest August 8th of 2019. Even when I was in that coma, inside, that innate strength in me chose to live. And so you just blessed my soul on this evening, Eggy. I just want you to know that your positivity, your attitude, you just radiate light. I just see the light in you. I hear it in your voice all the way from Sydney, Australia, and me being here in Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Your light just radiates even through the media, even on this line. So I am so grateful for you and the work that you do. And in the few minutes that we have left, please give us some closing remarks. Take about 2 minutes to give some closing remarks. Anything else on your heart you want to share with our listeners, and leave your contact information, your web address, and things like that, and where they can find you.
Thank you. Jean, this is my heart is just dancing. I'm so happy. Thank you for inviting me and sharing this space with me, and to give me an opportunity to inspire other people going through any challenges, right? It's not just about cancer, obviously, but wellness comes, for all of us, whether we are going through something like this or not. So I just want everyone to know that there is really a beauty in surrendering. I mentioned it before, but mindfulness and meditation is really a key, and praying. Praying is, in my eyes, meditation itself, and meditation is a prayer. Accepting that there's a higher level of oneness, consciousness, and that you can absolutely go from breakdown to breakthrough, and that you can, and that you're here to be your own hero of your journey, of your life. And there's people just like yourself and like myself who can hold your hand and guide you through this time together. And if you're on Facebook, I have a page called Rise to Shine. You can find health aspects, addressing the physical body, the spiritual body, and the emotional body. So you will see live. Every 2 weeks I do an online class with Marnie Clark. She's a breast cancer coach. And we always address the spiritual part and the physical part in our classes. So we would love to see you on there. They're 100% free, no obligation or anything. It's purely educational material to unlock people's consciousness of what's actually possible in your life, in your soul, in your body, what you can do because you are the creator of your own health. So it's around the corner. Healing is possible. Go and get it. Never, ever give up your hope and your faith that this is possible. And just live your best life. Be the best you can be.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. I want to thank you so much. It's already Friday morning, your time. I just want to thank you so much for being willing to be here in the chat room with me this week for this episode of Health Chat with Coach Jean. And I wish you peace, blessings, and you know I'm following you on social media.
Yes, we are connected.
Yes, we are, my friend. Thank you so much again for joining us here in the chat room. I appreciate you so much, Eggie.
Thank you, Jean. I feel the same. So much love and gratitude, and I feel so good. Thank you for uplifting me too.
Amen. You are so welcome. And so to you, our listening audience, I want to thank you for joining us for another episode here in the chat room. Again, I want to thank my special guest, the beautiful Eggie Demirkin, all the way from Sydney, Australia. She's doing phenomenal work. She is cancer empowerment coach, and please be sure to check her out. Her website is Eggie, that's EGEDEMIRKAN.com. Be sure to check her out. Check out her website and check her out on Facebook as well. And so, again, thank you, beautiful Eggie. Peace and blessings to you. A very special thanks to my producer, the Batman of Charm City himself, Mr. Jerry Royce Live. And look, to you, our listening audience, tuning in from wherever you are around the world, I give thanks to you. I thank God for you. And look, join us next week, God willing, as my guest and I will be discussing some naturopathic modalities. The plan is to have a naturopathic physician here in the chat room next week, if God is willing. And so you know me, Coach Jean, I'm all about the complementary alternative modalities, therapies, yes, yes, yes. And look, my guest tonight said it best. Be the healthiest version of you that you can be. And whatever the challenge, whatever the situation or the circumstance, look, dig deep and draw on that innate, inborn strength that God has placed. It's His strength that He has placed on the inside of each and every one of us. So dig deep and draw on that innate strength to overcome any obstacle that comes your way. And so, again, I am Nurse Coach Jean Turner. Thank you so much for joining us here in the chat room this week. I wish you peace and health. God bless you. And until next time, if God says the same, good night.
Thank you for joining us for another episode here in the chat room. Health Chat with Coach Jean, that is. Until next time, if God says the same, I pray peace, health, love, and well-being for you and your family. God bless you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nina Taylor, and here is your gospel news. The Canton Spirituals are an award-winning gospel recording group and are regarded as pioneers in the genre of traditional gospel music. An award-winning gospel group out of the city of Canton, Mississippi, who pioneered mixing traditional gospel with modern R&B and urban elements. The Canton Spirituals were formed in 1943 by Harvey Watkins Sr., along with Reverend L.S. Watkins, Claude Bubba Nichols, Warren G. Ward, Isaac Bolton, Eddie Jackson, Theo Thompson, and Roscoe Lucius. Following the Sr. Watkins' death in 1994, the group has been led by his son, Harvey Watkins Jr. The group released 20 albums between 1978 and 2013. They've also earned many Stellar, Dove, Soul Train, GMWA Excellence, and Urban Networks Awards, along with their contributions to modern and contemporary gospel. On November 1st, 2012, the album Keep